Pat Brown has won his boxing debut against Federico Grandone. Hopefully, I've said his name right. But yeah, Pat Brown wins the fight in dominant fashion and looks very good as well while doing it. Grandone was very, very, very tough. Fair play to him. He took some massive shots, which, if we're being honest, he shouldn't have actually been taken. There were some massive shots thrown in that fight by Pat Brown from the off. He threw every single punch with intention. There was no jab really from Pat Brown. He was just very, very, very good with his hooks throughout and being able to shut the distance down and, land his real good, hard, meaningful shots to the body upstairs. There was a real good variety of work from Pat Brown in that fight, which was very good stuff to see. And he always kept coming and he was always good on the back foot as well throughout. He was able to, let Grandone come to him, but then Pat Brown would always be able to, come right back at him with some massive shots. I think it was the third round where Pat Brown was getting caught quite a lot. He was opening up a bit too much, in my opinion, and he just got caught quite a bit. But Pat Brown's chin did show there, which was good to see, and I feel like that's what needed to happen. He was up against a good, durable opponent, which, was good for Pat Brown to get some rounds in. And I'm glad that Pat Brown wasn't able just to go in there and blast Grandone out there in one round, because I feel like that would have just been pretty pointless. I feel like it's good to get 3.5 rounds in, in your first fight as a pro. But, you've got to get that knockout to, fully, make the win what it is. And that's exactly what Pat Brown did. It was the body shots that really took their toll. And you can tell that Pat Brown made Grandone not really want to be there in the end. You could tell when Grandone was sat in that corner after round 3, he did not really want to be there, if we're being completely honest. He was really struggling. And Pat Brown in that 4th round just badly went out and punished him. If we're being real, it was pretty easy for Pat Brown, but, it was just target practice, really, with the opponent that he was in there with. But, as I said, in that 3rd round, there was things coming right back at Pat Brown. And I do feel like offensively, Pat Brown is very good and timed his shots well. He's got good accuracy, and his hand speed as well is very, very, very dangerous. And that is only going to get better. He's very quick. For a cruiserweight, Pat Brown, he's got very quick hands, and that is something that makes him dangerous. And that is why, he has come far as an amateur, and, and I was able to get into the Olympics. Obviously, that didn't go his way, but again, he's a good, experienced amateur. He's very tough to be in there with. He's a good, awkward opponent. He's got a good, awkward, come forward style at times. But again, he is a very good fighter off that back foot as well, Pat Brown. He is dangerous if you are coming at him and trying to back him up. He is dangerous, and he is good. He is clever at setting these traps. And as I said, the speed from Pat Brown is something you don't really see from many cruiserweights, but that is something Pat Brown has. And again, as I said, power is there from Pat Brown as well. But again, the accuracy of is something as well, and that is dangerous that Pat Brown has got. But I feel like it's Pat Brown's hand speed, which to me stands out the most. I wouldn't say it's his power. I mean, he clearly has got power, but he does throw every single shot with intention. It will be interesting to see as he does up those levels how his whole style is going to, work out. But you can't take away that hand speed from Pat Brown. That is what is going to get him far as he does go on. The unpredictability of his shots, the unpredictability of when he is going to throw. Though that lead hook of Pat Brown, in my opinion, is probably his most dangerous shot. It's a real good shot, that lead hook. And the body shots for those hooks are good as well. But for Pat Brown, I would like to see, mix in a good straight right hand. That's something we just didn't really see from him, mixing his straight a bit. That's what I want to see from Pat Brown in his next fights. It was mostly, just, get those good quick hooks going. But, the uppercuts were there as well. They were a good option for Pat Brown. And that is also another shot that he was able to get some good, solid success with, which was good. But, there are things we are going to want to see more from him. But again, this was his pro debut. So, we're going to only have to wait until we do see more. But yeah, I do think he's dangerous, and the hand speed is different to a lot of these other cruiserweights. And I feel like Pat Brown did show why he is where he is and how he has got far. He is pretty agile as well. He is agile with his movement, to be honest with you. He does look agile. He does look athletic. And yeah, he is quick. I feel like his footwork's decent as well. And his timing is good. He's always able to catch you when you are coming in. Yeah, he's a dangerous fighter. Put it that way, he is. He's going to be difficult for many fighters as he does move up the levels. But I do feel like he was matched well. To be honest, I do feel like it was matched up well. I think he had to be. He had to get these rounds, and it's been a long anticipated pro debut for Pat Brown. So he had to get some rounds in tonight, and that's exactly what ended up happening. And I'm glad that is what happened. But yeah, I do think the bodywork of Pat Brown is dangerous. He does like to dig into the body nicely. We saw that today, and that is what got Grandoni out of there, those brutal body shots. And, those body shots are going to be enough to really tire out anyone. And it's just, those very swift, quick level changes that Pat Brown's got and that he can produce. He's very dangerous. He is. He's got some real good, bloody dangerous attributes, in my opinion, Pat Brown. Yeah, good fight for him tonight at cruiserweight. When are we going to see the heavyweight debut? Because I think that is something we are going to see quite soon in Pat Brown's career. Would he look to be a world champion at cruiserweight, or what's he going to do? I feel like there are lots of questions around his career, and that performance from Pat Brown, in my opinion, certainly does make things very interesting. But yeah, I'm hoping from Pat Brown we do see him move up to heavyweight, but I mean, he could fancy his chances at cruiserweight. He really could. It wouldn't surprise me if he does. I feel like as he moves up, there are some very beatable styles for him, in my opinion. I feel like, generally just with, I know I keep saying it, but with the hand speed that he's got, it's an attribute that a lot of these guys in these heavier weight classes just don't have. That's the thing. I feel like in a way he has got a good, unique style, Pat Brown. So he's interesting. It's going to be interesting to follow his career even more.